Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Miss Ebony V, and these are the colorful box braids I did on my daughter. If you'd like to see the installation of these braids, then keep on watching. All right, y'all, let's get to it. So I ordered this hair off of Amazon, and this is how the hair came packaged. At first, I ordered one pack and realized it might not be enough, so I went ahead and ordered that second pack. So within each pack, this is what one package of the hair looks like. And it has the dark ombre roots with the colorful ends. And there are 5 packages of hair in one package. Okay, so also included in this package is this little shower cap that must be like Asian small head size, because it did not, or it barely fit my own head. And then they also included a little pack that included the crochet needle and these little fake plastic MAC lashes. I don't know why they always add those, y'all. Okay, so now I'm going to add some of this Argan Oil Heat Protectant Blowout Cream. And this is just my way of getting the hair prepped to blow dry. We did a heatless overnight dry, but I kind of like to blow dry the roots just to get them as straight as possible with these box braid styles. So I'm just going to apply some of this cream, or this heat protecting cream, all over her head and detangle to prep for blow drying. I'm also adding some of this Argan Oil spray, which I don't remember the name right now, but I will include it in the description box below, along with all of the other products that I'm using in this video. Okay, so I repeated this all over her head, and now I'm about to begin the blow drying process using the tension method, followed by the paddle brush method. Okay, so this is the last section before I start parting the hair and adding the elastic bands. There was clearly some good music playing that had me in a good little dancing mood. So I'm using these elastic bands instead of the rubber bands because it's a little nicer on your hair. And I'm also using this touchdown edge control to get the roots as nice and sleek as possible. It was starting to get late, and as you can see, this little chick was not making it. Her little head was bobbing all over the place, so I had her lay her head back on this chair so I can finish these rubber bands. And then we called it a night and restarted in the morning. Okay, so it is now the next day and I already have some hair separated, but I wanted to show you with one pack of hair how I actually go about separating the hair. And so I open the pack, cut off the rubber band, and then just kind of separate the hair in my hands like about 4 or 5 times just to get the hair loosened up, you know, from being braided up in the package. Just, you know, you want to loosen it up as much as possible. So the next thing I'm doing is taking the ends and feathering them out because this was not a pre-feathered package of hair. So you want to make sure the ends are feathered so that as you're styling, you get a nice pointed tip versus a blunt tip. So I did that on both ends of the hair. Just try to feather it out as much as possible. I'm not as particular about the feathering. I just want to try to get it a little more feathered than it comes. So then once I finish that, I make sure I got a good hold of this hair, and that's why I wrapped it around my finger before I start brushing it out to straighten out all of that tangle that occurred during the feathering. So now the hair is ready to be separated, and I separate each pack directly in half, and then I separate each half into 4 separate pieces. And you'll notice that I am using my wonderful, I don't even know what to call it. I'm just going to call a hair separating rack that I got from Amazon, which I will leave in the description box. And this is a little lifesaver, a little time saver. So separating the hair in advance on this rack saves me so much time. So I highly encourage you to invest in one of these. And again, I will leave the info down below. All right, so now that I have all of my sections already rubber band, and I just kind of twisted the ends overnight so that it remains detangled, I'm just going to comb through that section of the hair that I'm about to work in, and then go ahead and pull out my first braid and clip away the rest of the hair. And so for each piece, I like to go ahead and pull it apart to make it tight again, make it tight against the root again. Add a little edge control to the hair to try to keep it as frizzless as possible while braiding. Now for this part, I'm taking each piece of hair that I separated, and for the piece that I'm going to crochet, I split that piece in half. So the part that's crocheted, which I'm about to show you, is going to be split in half. That's the only one that's split. So I stick my crochet under the rubber band, hook that split piece of hair, pull it through, and only pull through one end of the hair. So this will then become one strand of my braid to include her hair. I hope I'm making sense, y'all. Just ask me any questions if I'm confusing. So now I'm going to grab another strand of hair and begin the braiding process. And this strand of hair will become the other 2 strands of my 3-strand braid. So I'm going to loop it around the top of this braid and begin braiding. You'll notice I'm attempting to tuck her hair and continue to add this edge control to keep it straight during the braiding process. So what I've been doing is braiding all the way down until I start reaching the color section. And that's where I'll add the elastic band. And then just stop braiding from there. Okay, so now that I have all of the braids installed, it is time to curl the ends. And I'm just combing through the ends just to get, you know, a nice detangled end so that the curls come out nice and pretty. And then I separate the ends into 2 parts. I clip away one of those parts. And then I go ahead and start rolling the other part on a rod, and I'm also twisting the hair as I'm rolling. I almost lost it on this roll, but I caught it. And so then I just close that roller and do the same for the other piece. So it's 2 rollers per braid on these box braids. And you're rolling the hair or you're twisting the hair as you're rolling it on the rod. Okay, so now that I have all of the rollers added, I have my boiling water and I am dipping the rollers into the boiling water and holding for about 7 to 10 seconds. I started off doing 1 at a time, and then, you know, I started trying to increase the number of braids I was able to put in the water, you know, to kind of save time. So one thing I learned during this process is that you cannot allow the water to cool off. You have to use super hot boiling water in order for the curls to be super defined. So you see these super defined curls versus these not so defined curls, because my water was not as hot as some of the other braids were able to experience. So I had to do several redos on some of these to get my curls to be a little more defined. Another tip, the hair does not have to be completely dry when you take the rods out, but the hair has to at least be cooled off, and then no longer hot before you take the rods out. And this is pretty much the end result. This is the end result before I redid some of those curls that didn't come out as defined, but it still gave me a nice, pretty result. These loosey-goosey curls I'm gonna redo, and you'll notice in the photos how the final outcome came about. But for this video, this is what we are working with, and it came out absolutely beautiful, I think. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Well, this concludes this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you turn on that notification, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, y'all.